Hello guys, welcome back to my video. I'm Amy for anybody that is new around here, and today I actually have a video on how I make my prints from home. I have actually had a lot of requests from people over on Instagram to do this video today because I literally just bought myself a new printer. I've wanted to be making prints for quite a long time, and I did make the decision to buy a printer so that I could do my prints from home. So today I've decided to put a video together on how I actually do my prints. So I'm going to be showing in the video how I scan my prints or my artwork in, how I edit my artwork, and then how I create the prints from my artwork as well. So I'll be showing all three of those things in today's video. I'm also going to be uploading a separate video on two things. The first is how I price my prints, and also the second video is going to be on how I actually post and package my prints as well, because prints are quite a fragile and delicate artwork to actually send off in the post. So you want to be careful with the post and packaging process. That's why I'm going to do like a separate video on how I actually post and package to my customers. So if you are new around here, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn the bell on, because when those videos are uploaded, it will send a notification to you that they've been uploaded, and then you can watch them. So far I am just doing the one size print, which is an A4 print, because obviously I'm fairly new to this. I want to just make sure that, you know, I'm going to be making like a long-term revenue from prints. So far my prints are doing really well. I've sold quite a lot of prints already. So I am just doing A4 prints at the moment. However, I have been printing some prints in like different sizes as well, and cutting them down to scale, ready for like adding like new variations of prints in. So I actually have some examples here of some prints. So this is one of my A4 ones. I've just got them in like a cellophane bag just to protect them at the moment. So I've got this one, another kingfisher, and then and a squirrel. So these are some prints that I've already printed out. They're ready to be packaged up for customers. So I've already printed out those ones ready to be packaged to go. And then I've also been like experimenting with different size prints as well. So obviously I've printed on an A4 sheet of paper. I just need to like trim those down. So that's just like a couple of examples of the prints that I've actually got, the quality of them through my printer. I will obviously give you a demonstration on a print so you can actually see it being printed in real time as well. And another thing that I also like to do, which I want to show you guys as well, is I also add like a few little extras in with my prints as well. So I do a certificate of authenticity, and I also do business cards and a thank you card for every purchase. So my certificates look like this. So they're really sweet. I made these myself. You can actually buy these from like different websites, but I was having real trouble trying to find some, and also they seem to be quite expensive, so I just made the decision to just print and design and print my own. And then I also have like my business card and my thank you cards, which go in for every print as well. So I'm going to just show you how I print those off as well. And then the first step that I do is the scanning. So we're going to go to my scanner, and I'm going to show you how I scan in my artwork. Okay, so I am going to scan in this one. This is a butterfly that I did like a few days ago. I have already scanned this one in, and I've already created some prints of this one as well. But I just wanted to show you, obviously for the purpose of this video, how I actually scan in my artwork ready for printing. You can also take photographs of your work as well if you don't have a scanner, but what I would say is just to make sure that you take the photo in natural light and that it's nice and light in the area as well. You don't want to be using like a spotlight over the artwork either, because then what can happen is you can get like spots of like light and colour and things. So I would definitely say, if you are wanting to take photographs of your artwork instead of scanning, just make sure that you're just scanning in natural daylight and that the room or area is well lit. Okay, so I hope that the camera is in focus. I'm really sorry if it's not, but I'm over at my scanner. So I have my scanner here. I'm just going to switch it on. And then I'm going to take my piece of artwork. It like has a lifting top. Okay, so I'm just going to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. You want to take your artwork and you want to just flip it the reverse side, so like face down, and then you just place it down on the scanner. I'm going to put the lid down, and then I actually scan my prints in via Photoshop. So I just go to Photoshop and do the WIA support, and I'm going to show you that right now, show you how I actually get like the scans in. So sorry, I've just put my glasses on because I was having a bit of trouble seeing, so I'm just going to put my glasses on, and then what I'm going to do now is go on to Photoshop. I always scan in my prints or my artwork from Photoshop, and then I do like WIA support, and then I edit my photographs from Photoshop and then print. So I'm going to go on to Photoshop. I have also got my like screen recorder on, so I'm going to include this in the video as well, so you can see like exactly what I'm doing. So I'm just going to open up Photoshop, and I am going to just go to File. I'm going to go to Import and then WIA support. Now if you're doing this for the first time, then you will need to like set up the WIA support first. You don't actually need to use Photoshop to scan the prints in. You can also scan from your actual scanner as well. I'll show you both. So let me just do the Photoshop version first. So you've got to set up like WIA support version. You've got to enable it and then set like your settings. So I'm going to go to WIA support, and then I have already set up, like my dad helped me with this, set up some folders for my prints to go into so that they're easy to locate. I'm going to go to Start, and then it's found my scanner, so I'm going to click OK. It's then just establishing a connection with the scanner from the computer. It might take a little bit of time to load, but that's fine. Okay, and then it's going to come up with like a pop-up box similar to this. So it sort of says, what do you want to scan? And then you've got like some different options. So we're going to be scanning in a color picture. I'm going to just adjust the quality of the scanned picture. For some reason it automatically does it as 100 dpi. That is quite a low quality. You want to make sure that you're scanning in at least 300 dpi. So I'm going to increase that to 300. I'm going to click OK. Okay, and then what I want to do before I click scan is I want to preview, and preview is important because it shows you like, you know, what image you're going to get when you actually scan. So you want to make sure that it's like properly lined up before you scan first. So I'm going to hit preview, and I always like to just put my hand down on the top of the scanner, because sometimes, especially with like watercolor illustrations, if you don't press down on the top of the scanner, sometimes the photograph can come up bobbly from obviously where you've had like a wet medium on the paper. So I just hold it down on the top, and then as you can see it's like loading, so I'm just waiting on the scanner to report back to me. Okay, so I'm really happy with that. It automatically should like find the image. That's how it's sort of programmed, and then obviously you can just like adjust whether you want to pull it out a bit or come in a bit. It's entirely up to you, and if you're happy with that, then you can just hit scan, hold down the lid, and then it will scan at the resolution that you've set. So we have set it at 300 dpi, which is definitely what I would recommend as a bare minimum. Some people do go up to 600 dpi. I've actually done that. You get obviously better quality resolution, but I find you get really nice images with 300 dpi anyway. And then what's going to happen is it's just transferring over to Photoshop. And then as you can see, it's on Photoshop now, so I'm just going to go to image. I'm going to go to image rotation. We're going to flip it counterclockwise, and then obviously as you can see here, it's got the print. Then if you want to, you can just go in and just adjust the print to however you want. So I'm just going to sort of like come in a bit. As I said, I have already scanned in a copy of this print. If you're happy, just click OK, and I've already created some prints from the other copy, but this is just like to just give you an example. Then if you're happy with like the cropped version of the print, and you're also happy with like any sort of marks on there, like for example I can see like little marks here, you can go into like the eyedropper tool, select a colour, and then you can go to like the brush tool and then see how that sort of like gets rid of those like little marks there. And you can go around the image and you can just obviously make adjustments however you see fit. And then once you're happy with the actual image and you want to go in and you want to brighten up the brightness and contrast, you just go to image adjustments and then brightness and contrast, and then you can just adjust from there. I just try and get a feel for what I want, so that's like quite nice and vibrant for me. Bear in mind that obviously when you go to print, the colours might look like slightly different when you print, so that's obviously where, like, you know, the next sort of part comes in. So I'm just going to go okay, and then once I'm happy with the actual print, I'm happy with like the brightness and contrast, I'm happy with the result of it, I then go to file, we're going to go to export as, and then it's going to find my folder. We're also going to save it as a JPEG, and that is obviously how it's going to save. So I'm going to go to export all. I'm going to just save this as butterfly 1, save. That's how I actually edit like every print. That's, I go in and I actually look at the print, I make sure there's no like scuffs and marks on there. The print is going off again, and then I just adjust the brightness and contrast, get it all nice and ready and prepped for going in and printing. So now we want to talk about how we actually print. So I'm going to show you my printer and then we'll obviously go from there. Okay, so we are now where my printer is. My printer's located in the other room, and obviously this is my printer, so I'm just going to get this like all nice and prepped, obviously, so that we can print. So it's not actually on at the moment, so I'm just going to come and switch this on. Just going to come and switch this on, pressing the on button there. And the next thing I want to do is just actually open the tray. So I'm just opening the front, and then we actually have the tray here, which I just need to like actually open. There we go, so that's actually the tray open there. And then I've got the paper already in the printer, so it's like a rear tray for the paper. It's just in the top there, and then it's going to obviously print down and come out the tray. And this printer is actually the Canon Pixma IP8750. Okay, so I'm just literally loading up my printer right now, so it takes a few minutes to load. I'm just going to let it load for a minute before I actually print, but I'm going to show you what I do now on the computer. So I am going to go and open up my printer. I actually print from a Canon quick menu, which is this here, and my dad actually put this on the computer for me so that it just gives me like really easy controls over the printer, and I can just go in and like select the size prints that I want and print from here. So I've got like this menu screen at the bottom. Let me just close all of these down. Why am I getting all of these notifications? Okay. Right, there we go. So at the bottom we've got like the menu screen, which I obviously am going to be using. So we've got like different options here. This is obviously for the Canon, and to go and print my actual prints, I click on a icon on here which is called Image Garden. So I'm just going to go to start my image garden. And then what it's going to do is it's just going to load up the image garden. This is how I go in and select all the sizes for my prints. This is where I print from. So obviously I'm just going to go in on here and just show you what actually happens. So then once my image garden loads up, then obviously we've got like quite a few options for printing. So this is obviously again how I do my prints, and we've got the option of like a photo print, photo layout, collage card, calendar, stickers, disc label. Like there's loads of different options. I normally go to photo layout so that I can choose like all the different sizes of prints that I want. So I'm just going to hit that, and then as you can see here, we now have like all of our different options for choosing like the size prints that we want. You can have like loads of mini prints. You can even do like, you know, digital photo ID photo prints as well, borderless prints or prints with borders. I am going to go for I'll go for 2 of the bordered print. So I've literally just clicked on that and that has selected that size for the prints. Now the really important thing is what you want to do is make sure that you're setting up all the right settings. Now obviously I've used this quite a few times to do some prints already, but when you first set up like your printer for printing out the pictures, you're going to have to fill in quite a lot of like different information so that the printer knows what you're printing on, what you're printing, what size, that sort of thing. But because I've done this a few times, it sort of remembers my settings. But what I do need to do every time that I do this is I need to go and set what paper size I'm printing in. So at the moment I am printing in A4. Now, even if you're wanting to do A5 prints, if you are printing on A4 paper, you have to set the paper size to A4. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of problems with printing. It won't actually print because it won't recognize the paper that's in there. So I've set it to A4, which is the size paper that I've got. I'm going to click OK. And then it's going to process. This is just a pop-up box just to say, you know, obviously about the images. I'm just going to click OK. And then now we're going to go and add our image and then select the image that we want to print. So I'm just going to go to add image. I'm going to just locate the file off camera, obviously just for privacy reasons. So I'm just going to go into my folder. I've got like a separate folder that I've got my prints in already. And where are you? It should be the last folder, and we've got the butterfly. There we go. So I've just literally added in the butterfly into my image garden, and then we're just gonna add it in. Now obviously, as you can see, that is cropped the wrong way round, so I just need to rotate it and it just does it all for you. And you've got like your nice borders as well. And it's gone by like, you know, normal standard dimensions for the border. So that's another thing. I don't even have to worry about like measuring borders and things. It does it all for you, and it makes for like easy framing as well for my customers. So then once I've done that, I'm ready to print. So literally that's all you do. Now obviously the printer that I'm using, it is a cheaper variation of printers. So there are some printers that are a lot more expensive, and one of the things with like the cheaper printers is that you often have to do like a lot of color correction first of all, which is another thing that my dad and I did when we were setting up this printer first of all. So that's another thing that you want to bear in mind as well. There's a lot of like different settings that you've got to do before you can get to like this stage, but obviously because I've been printing for a while now, for over the last 2 weeks, we've already done that and it's remembered my settings. So I'm going to go to print. Let's hit print. You want to definitely make sure that at this stage that you've edited the photos how you want them to be. So you've got the colors the way that you want them to be, that the contrast is okay, the brightness is okay, because if your colors or your brightness or contrast is slightly off, then obviously you're going to get bad quality prints. So make sure that that's all correct. Okay, so sometimes it actually does do this. Sometimes it actually freezes when I'm trying to print, and that is something that you need to be careful on. So regardless of whether you're using My Image Garden or another program to do your prints from, if it freezes and you're hitting print, you could end up with loads and loads of prints, so just be careful. So I'm just going to try and wait for this to just come back on. Okay, there we go. That's better. So it's come back now. So just give it some time just to load. Also, the other thing that I want to just say, I haven't experienced this issue yet. However, I have been told that if you have a wireless printer, which I do, sometimes it can lose connection to the internet. And if that happens, apparently it only prints part of a print. So if you're going to be using a wireless printer, just be careful. You might want to get like an extra cable to just go with it and stabilize like the internet. So far, touch wood, it's probably going to go wrong now, but touch wood, I haven't had that problem yet. So now we come on to the actual printer settings. So as I was saying, my dad and I have already done this, so it's remembered my settings. But when you first go to do your prints, you need to make sure that you set up your printer settings correctly. So at the moment, obviously we've got our printer, so you want to select your printer. My paper size is A4, which I selected in My Image Garden. At the moment I'm using a matte photo paper, but you'll have to obviously change like your settings. It's not letting me do it. You have to change your paper if you obviously have a different paper. And the paper stores is the rear tray. Then we have print range settings. We're just going to print one page. Then obviously if you're going to be printing in grayscale. Then borderless printing settings, so you can either select for it to print without borders or have it where you have borders. And then just advanced settings, my print quality is high. If you're printing from another like program, like for example Photoshop, you can actually set it to the actual DPI, but this I think prints in 300 or 600 DPI, I can't remember, but it's good quality prints anyway. So you want to make sure that it's either set to like 300, 600 DPI or a high quality DPI as well. And then if you're happy with all of those settings, then you can actually go and print, which is what we're going to do in a second. I obviously wanted to like show the process. I feel like I'm gonna have to run to get to the printer. Okay, so let's just quickly print, and then I'm gonna show you what happens when it prints and the print comes out. Okay, so it's now starting to print. It's taking the paper from the rear tray as well. And it might take a while to obviously print, but that's obviously because of like the adjustments that we put, the quality and things. So obviously you can see like how vibrant this print is already, how good quality it is. So you can see like the quality of the print there is really good. Okay, so I'm just going to show you just a couple of like variations of paper. So the nice thing about actually having your own printer is that I actually got like a few sample pieces of paper that I could try. So this was one of them. So this is a a plus glossy version of paper that was a sample pack sent to me with the printer. There's loads of different types of paper that you can get for your printer, so depending on what type of print that you want to actually make. But what is really important is that you make sure that you're buying paper that is suitable for your printer, because there are some papers that you might be able to use for your printer but not necessarily someone else's, and the same way around. So you always want to make sure that when you're going to buy paper, you are checking that the paper is suitable for your printer. So there's loads of different versions. This one is the Canon Photo Paper Plus Glossy Edition 2. And I also have a matte paper from Canon as well. This one is a 4 size, 50 sheets, it's 170 GSM. And then I also have the archival matte paper from Epson as well. But there are honestly loads of different variations of paper. I got my paper from Amazon. There's loads of different brands. There are some brands which, you know, are really, really good quality, but they might be very expensive. So some brands of paper are very expensive, but some are really reasonable. Like these papers were fairly cheap, believe it or not, and they're really good quality as well. And then the last thing that I wanted to do was just show you obviously my certificates and also my thank you notes and business cards that I make and put with my print orders. So I'm just gonna get my glasses on again because I'm gonna look on the computer. So I created my business cards myself, and I do like the same process for printing. So I just go back into my image garden and I'm just going to load it up, and we're going to go to photo layout again, and then obviously depending on how many business cards or thank you cards I want to actually print, I just select an option. I normally go for, so where was the option? I go for a 6 bordered for the certificate, so I'm just going to click OK. Okay, again we're going to add our images. I'm going to just select the certificates without recording the screen because obviously I just want to protect my privacy. So I'm just going to go into my folder and locate my certificates, which I can't seem to locate. Oh, hang on. I think I was in the, there we go, I was in the wrong place. So I actually created these on my own. They're my own creations. I designed them myself and then I just print them myself from home. And I just looked at like some templates of certificates before I designed my own. And I have a certificate for special edition prints, which is like unlimited prints and also limited prints as well. So I'm just going to go and select the special edition ones. And then all I do is the images here, I'm just going to click and drag. And then again, we're just going to rotate, click and drag and rotate, and just add like all of these certificates in. There we go. And then it's the same process of literally just printing. And I do this for also my thank you cards and business cards as well. I just select a setting that I want them to appear in, like size variations, and then I actually cut them up with an X-Acto knife and just like a cutting board, and that's how I cut those ones up. And then for my actual prints, to cut them down to size, I used an A3 guillotine, and I will show you the one that I use, which is on Amazon, just because it's downstairs and it's really heavy. So I will show you the one that I have. It's brilliant. Okay, so this is the guillotine that I actually use to cut up all of my prints. It is an A3 guillotine and it's got all like the measurements on, which is brilliant. And this is what I use to like cut up the prints that I've printed on A4, but I want a different size. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video today on how I make my prints from home. I hope that it was useful and helpful. As I said, I've got the other video coming out soon on how I price my prints and also how I post and package prints as well. So make sure, if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and turn the bell on as well, so that when I upload those videos, you'll know about it. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching today's videos. If you've got any other suggestion for videos, then please let me know in the comments section down below. I'd love to make lots of different types of videos on my channel, and I actually really enjoyed this type of video today. I've really enjoyed like having like a sit down vlog type of style video and actually like showing how I do something from home. If you did like this, let me know. Definitely leave like a comment down below if you want to see this type of thing again. But thank you so much for watching. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, then I have to say you're amazing. You're amazing, because this is quite a long video. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope, as I said, that you found it useful. Bye guys.